it's about that time. We decided we were going to do something a little bit different today, add some different elements to what we already do. It's going down there, trying to figure out ways to break the algorithm. And make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to all our channels, all our different platforms. Boss Talk 101, Boss Talk 101 Prime Time. It's crazy. We got to get it done, though. Boss Talk 101, what a boss is talking.
What's good? What's good? What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G, coming at you all the way live. I'm in your face, I'm in your space, and I'm definitely blessed to be living on this wonderful day here in the great state of Mississippi. It is July 25th, 2026. You're locked in with Prime Time Network. I'm your host, Big G. And let me welcome all of you who tune in, lock in. Welcome to Industry Talk. We're live at 5. How is everyone doing? How are things going? How are you feeling today? Has anyone attempted to throw you off your square, to get you out of your comfort zone, rattle your cage? Back in the day, it was a little simple. You could knock the shit out of a motherfucker and get some get right. But in this day and age, everything is recorded. So you don't know if people are jading you or joking at you or jeering and being provocative to initiate some type of emotion or ignite a flame or a fire out of the individual to get them to react in such a way that cause them to have a bad look or do something catastrophic that would cost them financially. So people and cameras and the way that people sway the narrative, things are different in this day and age in society. So, a lot of times it's best to stick with your crew, with your people, with how you get out, with what you're familiar with. I'm not saying don't step outside of the box and go be adventurous and be creative and do some phenomenal things in your life. No, that's not what I'm saying. Yes, do that. Don't allow outside influences to dictate your feelings, your emotions, your behavior, your reactions. Because within that moment, that emotional reaction could cost you a lifetime of pain. So let's make sure that we keep our shit in check, so that we can keep pushing forward. You know, a lot of people say, oh man, I'm out the way. But they still in the game. Man, you're not out the way. You just think that you are secluded, isolated, so that nobody can touch you, right? Nobody can see your movements. Don't be fooled. And don't be crazy. All right? Welcome to Industry Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. Let's get into it. It's hot today. Nice hot day. Got a lot of cleaning done. Got my animals situated. Got them a new bed. Both of them got them new beds. Yeah, something to lay down on and be comfortable. I don't know if they like them or not yet, but I definitely got them. Been doing a little ripping and running, taking care of some stuff, but today we're here. We're definitely here. Make sure all my stuff is in order. Okay. And we're going to get into life lessons you can't learn in the classroom. This should make for a very interesting topic because I am a true advocate of education, fundamental education. You know, I mean, there are different ways that you can teach, yes, but in the classroom setting, that social environment for young men and women to engage in the learn process, the competition that is created within the classroom setting, or should be, because ultimately it should be expressed to these young men and women that top honors, valedictorians and salutatorians, alpha honor roll students, beta honor roll students, you become the cream of the crop and the representation and true ambassadors of that organization, that school. So we're pushing you to be great. We want you, the school should want you to be great. I want you to learn. All right? So I'm an advocate of the school system. Education is the key, truly. But all education isn't learned in the classroom. Everything you learn throughout your life isn't learned in the classroom, but the classroom is the precursor. It is the upfront. It is the opportunity to gain knowledge, how to learn, and the processes that it takes to retain knowledge and apply knowledge. Someone has to teach you that. And it's a learned behavior through watching and smelling and tasting and feeling and everything that comes into play with how you learn something. Is your tongue really tasting, or is your brain processing what you put on your tongue? Are you really hearing, or is your brain processing the noise that is coming into your eardrum? Am I getting a little bit too in depth with how this goes? There's no way. But let's get back to it. I don't want to stray. I don't want to sit there and go in a different direction. Today we're talking about something every successful person eventually discovers. Some of life's greatest lessons will never be found in a textbook. A classroom can teach you mathematics, science, history, and business principles, but it can't teach you what it feels like to lose everything and start over. Correct me if I'm wrong. School can't teach you that. It doesn't teach you that punch in the fucking gut when you're at rock bottom and what you have to do to pull yourself out of that pit. It can't prepare you from betrayal from someone you trusted, the pain of failure, or the strength required to keep moving when no one believes in your vision. Life becomes the classroom. Experience becomes the teacher. Every setback becomes an exam. Success isn't determined by how many degrees you earned, although it is a great accolade. It's determined by how many lessons you're willing to learn. You learn that character matters more than charisma. You learn that your word is your bond. You learn that time is your most valuable asset. And once it's gone, no amount of money can buy it back. You learn that not everyone celebrating you is for you, and not everyone criticizing you is against you. Don't let that go over your head. Just because they celebrating you don't mean that they're for you. And just because they're criticizing you don't mean that they're against you. Process it, people. Ingest it. Let it resonate. You learn resilience after you've been knocked down. You learn patience after waiting longer than expected. You learn wisdom after making expensive mistakes. And perhaps the greatest lesson of all, you learn that success isn't about arriving at a destination. It's about becoming the person capable of handling the responsibility that comes with it. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to ask yourself, what lesson has life been trying to teach you that you've been refusing to learn? Because until you pass that lesson, ladies and gentlemen, life has a way of putting you back in the same class. I didn't say that you failed. I said that it has a very strange way of putting you back in the same class. So let's get off into this conversation, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see what everybody's talking about today. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? How's everybody smelling? Did you get up and wash your ass? You gotta ask folks that sometimes. Because you can smell them. They can't smell themselves. Yeah. Jarrell Braswell called them motherfuckers they got stanky skin. Yeah. So let's see where everybody's chiming in from today. Let me go check the Paul 39, Paul 39422. What's going on, Paul? 39422. Welcome to the party, man. Welcome to the show. Swole. Funny, Swole is funnier than the average comedian, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you tap in with Swole. Funnier than you. Check out his content. Great guy. Let's keep this party rolling. Y'all need to engage. Y'all need to tap in. Y'all need to lock in. Y'all need to let me know what's really going on in the world today. Um, yeah, let's get into it. Let me respond to this email right quick. It's very important business. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So here's a question I want you to think about: is college still the best path to success? And I can't give you, and I'm not going to try to give you um, a position on this. I'll elaborate some conjecture about how I think about how things should go, but at the same time, y'all should know how I feel about college. But in today's day and age, is college still the best path to success? So here's the question: has real world experience become more valuable than a college degree? Hmm. Okay. So here's side A. Here's one point of it. Higher education provides critical knowledge and credibility. Many professions still require degrees. College builds valuable networks. When you go to college, you meet a lot of people. And within that group or that core of individuals that you meet on college, they're going to become everything that you know about on this planet, from doctors, lawyers, senators, congressmen, even presidents. So that networking opportunity, first and foremost, is paramount. Side B, on the other side of the table, entrepreneurs are proving experience can outperform education because you got to hustle, right? You got to hustle. So everything that you learn, okay, you're advanced because you've learned it from the hustle part of it, the hustle side of it, the go out there and get it, the grind, the self-motivation, whereas a college student is only learning the technical side, the book side, and there's no practical use until they leave college and go into the workforce, unless they're working and in school at the same time and actually gaining on the job training and collegiate academia at the same time. You know, hours, building up hours towards graduation. All right. Student loan debt outweighs the return of many graduates. That is true. But if you go into school with the right approach, you can one, defer loans, get them written off. Two, you can get Pell Grants and you can take advantage of free money that's out there, and you can pretty much get school paid for without incurring debt. That is the truth. So that's not really a good catch-all to me. Skills, certification, and self-learning are changing the workforce. That is very true. That is very true. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other. The fact that you're self-motivated to go out there and get those certifications, to take the training, to do all of the things that it takes to actually have impact in the workplace. Oh, I pat you on the back. But don't get upset when a college student comes out and takes your position at more pay. Whether he knows or she knows the job or not, my good friend, do not get upset. Give a damn how many years of service you've been offering the organization. I can assure you that they're going to get that qualified individual based on that academic record, as opposed to someone who's picked it up off the street. Now, if you've built that rapport and that relationship within that organization, then yes, your lifelong learned lessons will probably abdicate anything that comes through the door, because you're a part of the moral fiber, the fabric, and the physical working order of what's going on within that organization. But if you think that your skills are going to trump that education and skill, I'm trying to tell you, I'm not being biased. I'm just stating what I know. It wouldn't be real if I just told you some bullshit. Does failure teach more than success? Okay. People learn more from losing than they do from winning. That's kind of up in the air. It's debatable. The losing lessons are harsh if you look at them in a harsh way. But that doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. Right? And you're going to learn more from winning. No, winning, you learn a lot from winning too. You learn how to be gracious. You learn not to gloat. You learn not to sit there and rub it in the defeated's face. It's a lot to learn. A lot to learn. So, yeah. It's a lot for us to talk about. A lot for us to get into. But before I keep on pushing, let me give you guys a little commercial break for a moment. Hold tight.
It's about that time we decided we were going to do something a little bit different today, add some different elements to what we already do. It's going down, man. Trying to figure out ways to break the algorithm, man. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to all our channels, all our different platforms. Boss Talk 101, Boss Talk 101 Prime Time. It's crazy. We got to get it done, though. Boss Talk 101, what a boss is talking.
We're not done. I got some more commercials.
Hey, what it do, world? It's your boy, Comedian JB, the real Jay Braswell, Comedian Jay Braswell. Hey, dig this. I got a website, man. Tap in at jbcomedy.com.
And let me hit you with one more. Stop what you're doing right now and go subscribe to Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime on YouTube, all social media platforms. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to make sure you tap in. Right now, over 72,000 subscribers and well over 11 million views and watch time hours. So make sure that you continue to support. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and keep tapping in with us, because we're going to keep on bringing you this hot content every day and in every way. It's your main man, Big G. And make sure, like I said, stop what you're doing right now and tap in. Like, share, subscribe. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Prime Time. Now, as I was saying, side A to this thing, do people learn more from losing than they do from winning? On one side, you have to look at it. Failure builds resilience and humility. Mistakes reveal weaknesses that success sometimes can hide. Most successful leaders have overcome repeated failures. That I will definitely agree to. And on the other side, success reinforces good habits and confidence. Failure can discourage people from trying again. Learning doesn't require failure if you're willing to study others' mistakes. You see? Yeah. I don't have to go through it. I can watch you bump your head against the wall and say, that may not be the way to go. I might want to try a different methodology. Because he's continuing to bump his head, doing the same process over and over again, thinking that he's going to get a different result. So that's, well, y'all know. Y'all know. Are schools preparing students for real life? I say yes. I say yes. I say yes. Because you're still allowing the mind to mature. You hit college, 17, 18 years old? Some 15, 16, depending on your intellectual capacity. You have no way of the world unless you've just gone through just the roughest parts of life. And I know some people who have now. So I'm not saying that the possibility of something tragic and something, very heinous happening to young minds, young fragile minds. Yes, it happens. We're talking about the norm, right? Are schools preparing students for real life? Should schools spend less time on traditional academics and more time teaching life skills? Now, here's the problem with that. Let me get close to you. They used to teach life skills, home economics. They used to have trade school. They used to have welding and pipe fitting and plumbing. They used to have all of these things that students could take in the public space. You had trade schools on campuses. Individuals that would come in and actually teach these guys home economics, everything from cooking, baking, to bookkeeping, hygiene, tidying up, secretarial tasks, typing, things of that nature. They had it in the schools. And of course, if you wanted to be a part of the labor force, they gave you that opportunity to go learn a trade, a skill, and get certified in high school. So that when you got out of high school, if in fact you didn't want to go to college, you could go directly into the workforce, go through their training programs, have your certifications, and voila, you're off and running. Teach these kids how to go get a Z card and go work at the port and make sure, hey, I want to become a merchant marine. I want to travel the world. They had those programs there. They had recruiting stations that would come in, or officers that would come in every quarter and talk to the kids about joining the military, taking the ASVAB, all of the things that you need to do to set yourself up for making a decision once you walk out of that school. Financial literacy, This one side of it. Entrepreneurship, communication, taxes, investing, and emotional intelligence should be core subjects. They were. They took them out of the schools. Don't take my word for it. Go investigate it. They took this. Liberal arts schools had all of these things. You could play instruments. You learn so much different things as opposed to what you learn in public school systems right now. And it's because of budgetary costs. Well, before you start talking to me about the budget and what we put into the educational platform, the budget and what we put into the DoD platform, the budget and what we put into NASA, don't play with me. We should have the smartest kids coming out of school, coming out of high school on the planet. And we can't sit there and push it or put it off on, well, we need to pay our teachers more money. Just because we're paying more money don't mean that they're going to get their ass in that room and teach these kids what they need to be taught. They're just getting a bigger check. Who's giving a damn about the kids? That's a question I want to put out there. Many graduates enter adulthood without practical knowledge. I remember I told a coach once before. I said, man, if you don't realize that these kids that you're working with, you have the power to make sure that every last one of these kids that play basketball for you can go to school free of charge because of their skill set. Good, bad, or indifferent. You can get these kids on a team. It is your responsibility every year, your graduating seniors and everything that comes after that. I'm making sure that those kids get to the school that they want to get to and play ball. As a coach, that is your job. If it is not, get out of the coaching profession. And I'm not saying, hey, man, we just out there shopping for schools. No, I'm making sure that your academics are right. I'm making sure that you're an ambassador for the school. I'm making sure that you're doing all of your community service hours. I'm making sure that you're taking all of your required tests and hitting high marks, ACT, SAT, ASVAB. I'm making sure that you're doing everything that you need to do. We're going to the schools. We're doing official visits. We're making sure that you're locking in and making connections with these coaches and letting them know, hey, man, we're interested. And we have some phenomenal student athletes that are ready for you. If, in fact, you are not doing that as a high school coach, man, get out of the job, bro. Ladies, that goes for male or female coaches. And you look at me, oh man, who the hell you think you are? I'm a parent who has 2 sons in the pros. So it's not a matter of, hey man, where do I get off? I'm just telling you that should be your modus operandi. You should want to make sure that these kids are going to school, furthering their education, and at no cost to them. I can assure you if a few other folks would have listened to me, their kids would have been in the same situation doing the same damn thing. But the ones that did are phenomenal and excelling at a high rate in the careers that they've chosen to do so. And I'm not saying it was just because of me. I'm saying I know what kind of influence we've had on people's lives and what it takes to get to where you're trying to get to or wanting to get to. And if someone tells you that, hey man, I can shortchange education and still get to my destination, you are 1,000% correct. I will not sit there and try to debate you on that. But if you want to sit there and go through what it takes to actually be disciplined enough to learn, to sit in the pocket in a situation and learn and observe and watch the behavior of people and watch how you become a part of a society of college students and what lives on with you as you go through that experience. You can never get that back. And every step of the way, whether you're in school or not, you're going to bump your head and you're going to have hard times. Shit's going to happen. So we're just talking about what's the best side of the table to be on, right? Right. I told you I'm not going to sit there and be biased in this conversation. I won't do it. On the other side, schools should focus on academic fundamentals. Parents and communities should teach life skills. That should be happening anyway. In the home. That's where you're really getting your education fundamentally in terms of how you live your life. Expanding the curriculum could reduce mastery of essential subjects. Yeah. Yeah. So something to think about, y'all. Something to have a great conversation about, you know. Because I got it on my mind, man. I really got it on my mind. You see? So I had to bring it up. As a matter of fact, both my sons, their birthdays are coming up in a couple of days. July 26th and July 27th. Yeah. Back to back. Very proud of my young men. They're doing some awesome and phenomenal things. So, can't wait to give them a call on their birthdays and wish them a very happy, healthy, and blessed day and continue to be great. Yeah. Yeah. So before I go into our artists and business spotlight for today, let's hit our educational note for today. Let's push on with this Spanish lesson, right? Because, like I say, ladies and gentlemen, it is imperative that we take an opportunity to learn something every day, something new. Every day. Say it with me, buddy. Every day. Learn something new. Okay? Let's get to it.
In this video, we're going to talk about accents, or the use of accents in the Spanish language. En este video hablaremos sobre la acentuación en español. So, accents might not seem like a very exciting or important topic to learn about, but in fact they are quite important, because the way that you stress certain syllables in certain words creates the melody of the language. It makes it kind of flow beautifully, and it distinguishes different languages among each other. For example, if you take Italian, they have these really strong accents, and that makes it, easy for almost anyone to create the illusion of having an Italian accent, for example, in English, because you know kind of how to stress the words, and it creates the Italian melody in any other language. Even though, you don't have to speak Italian, but you can approximate it by using the Italian accents. And it is similar in Spanish. The accents might not be as prominent as in Italian, but if you'll know how to use them correctly, you'll definitely sound like a better Spanish speaker. So in terms of accents, we can divide Spanish words into two groups. The first group is a group that follows certain rules. Okay, rules. If you want to know how it is in Spanish, it's reglas. Reglas. And then there's a second group that does not follow rules. No rules. And the second group is pretty straightforward, because, okay, I'll show you a word and then I'll explain. For example, the word árbol, which means tree. it has this little line, this little thing written above the word, which in Spanish is called tilde. Tilde. And it shows you where the accent is in a word. So anytime that you see a word with this thing above any of the vowels, then you know that that's where the accent lies. So if I want to read this word properly, I'll read árbol. Okay, so I'll stress the first syllable. I put more strength and more emphasis on the syllable where the tilde is. Okay, another word that I can demonstrate it on is the word exámenes. Exámenes, which you probably understand means exams. So again, we have the tilde written right here, and the tilde shows us where the accent is in the word. So if I read it correctly, exámenes. So that's how you kind of distinguish these two groups, whether it follows the rules or whether it does not. If you look at a word, you're not sure how to read it, the first thing to look for is whether it has any tildes. If it has tildes, then it's easy. You just stress the word where the tilde, the syllable where the tilde is. Now let's move on to the other group, which follows rules. And again, we can say that this group divides Spanish words into two groups. So basically we can say that there are two rules. The first group applies, or the first rule applies to a group of words that end with a vowel, an N, or an S. And if you encounter a word that ends with a vowel, N, or an S, you stress the next to last syllable. Next to last. Okay, so if you, for example, take the word mesas, which means tables. First of all, you have to divide it into syllables. So this word right here is pretty short. It only has two syllables, mesas. And then we look for whether there are any tildes there. There are no tildes. That means that this word will follow the rules. And then we look at the letter which it ends on. In this case, it's an S. That means it applies, or it falls into the first group of words that end on a vowel, N or S. That means we have to stress the next to last syllable. In this case, in this letter, or in this word, because it is short, the last syllable is sas, so the next to last is me, which also happens to be the first one, but that's not always the case. So if I were to read this word correctly, I would say mesas. Okay, so I kind of stress, or I put more emphasis on the first syllable, or next to last syllable. Another, let's give you a longer one. For example, examen. Examen. So now if we divide this into syllables, it has three. Examen. Again, we look at the letter that it ends on. It is an N. That means it falls into this rule, or this group of words, and we have to stress the next to last syllable, which in this case is the X and A. So the proper way to read it would be examen. Here we stress the mesas, examen. Okay, I'll demonstrate an incorrect way to read it. For example, examen. Okay, so if I decided to stress the E, it would sound examen, and you see how it changes kind of the melody and the beauty of the word. You may have already noticed that I have the plural of the word examen, exámenes, and that it fell into the other category, that it fell into the no rules group of words. And I'll show you how. You already know that this is the rule for the rule words, or the words that follow rules. So if a word ends with a vowel, N or S, you stress the next to last syllable. So if we were to divide this word into syllables, we would have exámenes. Okay, so it would have 4 syllables. That means if this word fell into the category of the words that follow rules, we would have to stress this syllable, because that is the next to last. And it would sound exámenes, which, sounds weird, and it doesn't really make sense. Why would you have a different accent in the plural of the word than you have in the singular of the word? So that is why, in some cases, you put the tilde there, you write it there, to make, to avoid using the rules on the certain letter, to make it sound more natural, or to make it, have the same accent as the singular form. Yeah, so this was the first group of words. Just once again, a quick recap. If you see a word that has no tilde, it means it follows a certain rule. Then you look at the final letter of the word, and if it is a vowel, N or S, you stress the next to last syllable. Mesas, examen. Now let's get to the second group of these words that follow rules. And these are words that basically everything that does not fall into the first category. So these are words that do not end with a vowel, N or S. So anything that's not a vowel, N or S, will fall into this second category of the words with rules. For example, the word cantar, which is a verb and it means sing, to sing. Cantar. Okay, we see it has no tilde. That means it follows rules. We see that it ends with an R, which is not a vowel, not an N, or not an S. Therefore, it will follow this rule, which says you stress the last syllable. Last syllable. Okay, so if I want to read it correctly, I will say cantar, cantar, because this is the last syllable in the word. Another word that I can demonstrate this on would be papel, which means paper. Again, look at the word, it has no tilde and it ends with an L. That means I stress the last syllable. Papel. Yeah, so these are basically the rules. Again, I'll just make a quick recap and then we'll finish with this video. So, when it comes to accents in the Spanish language, we can divide words into two groups. Ones that follow certain rules and ones that don't follow rules. The way to distinguish these two groups is that you look at the word and see if it has a little line above some of the letters. This line is called tilde, and if it has this line, then the way you read it is that you stress the syllable where the line is. If you look at a word and it doesn't have a tilde, then it follows one of these two rules. The way to distinguish which syllable to stress is that you look at the last letter of the word, and if it ends with a vowel, N or S, you stress the next to last syllable. So mesas, examen. If the word does not end with a vowel, N or S, you stress the last syllable, cantar, papel. So that's all. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy, and I'll see you at the next video.
All right. And we will see you at the next video. Huh? We want y'all to learn something, man. We want you to learn something. But if you're going to learn, that means you have to sit down, take some time, and apply pressure. You got to apply pressure. So as we, wind down, let me make sure we highlight artists and business, in spotlight. Today we're highlighting the independent creators and entrepreneurs and brands making an impact. Show them some love by streaming, following, sharing, supporting their work. Getty Blue, recording artist for Records. EXO Music, recording artist. Tangela Turner, recording artist. The Real Shanti, recording artist. YKP, the group, recording artist. Make sure y'all tap in with Freeway Ricky Ross. If in fact you want to get Rick to your city, walkthroughs, meet and greets, give us a call. Droopy Marinez and the TMP crew. Independent music and entertainment. They are locked in with Freeway Records at this point. We're still going through the onboarding process, but yes, they're rocking out with the crew. Joblaze and the Cloud Chronicles, the official podcast representative and affiliate for Freeway Records, Dia Moore, Carolina, Azo Capone, Passport Scoop, Keith Wallace, Coach Malachi, and True Media Boxing, Terry Cherry, Freaky the Pimp, comedian Jarrell Braswell, our in-house resident comedian, Jonathan Shaw, host of Inside Speaks, Emily Mitchell and Kiara Smith, the host of Heals, Healing, and Hope. Support independent excellence, ladies and gentlemen. Every stream matters, every share matters, every ticket purchased, every product bought, every conversation started helps an independent creator continue their journey. Big corporations have billion-dollar marketing budgets. Independent creators have us. If we want to see independent businesses thrive, we have to support them with more than just words. We have to support them with our actions. Right? But it's a very truthful one. A creator, a business, or entrepreneur, they cannot pay their bills, feed their families with a like, click, or share. Just remind you of that. This is Industry Talk, where we celebrate those building legacies, creating opportunities, and providing and proving that independent doesn't mean insignificant, because that's how we make them feel sometimes. They're very significant. They're very a part of the core and fabric of getting it done and moving the needle forward for humanity. I believe that. So today's takeaways. Today's conversation reminds us of one powerful truth. Life will always teach what a classroom cannot. A degree may open a door, but character keeps you in the room. Experience teaches you resilience. Failure teaches you humility. Success teaches responsibility, where relationships teach discernment. And time, well, that teaches the value of every decision you make. Don't just chase knowledge, chase wisdom. Knowledge tells you what to do. Wisdom teaches you when to do it, how to do it, and why it matters. As you learn and leave today's show, because I want you to learn something today, remember these 5 lessons. Experience is life's greatest teacher. Failure is not your enemy, it's your instructor. Your character will take you further than your credentials. Never stop learning. Remember that. Very important key. Never stop learning, no matter how successful you become. Every challenge carries a lesson that prepares you for the next level. And no one can dictate to you what your level is. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. As you're leveling up through your life and as you're building wisdom and gaining knowledge and pursuing your mission, your level up game solely and strictly lies squarely on your shoulders. And I'll leave you with this. Education can prepare you for a career, but life lessons prepare you for your purpose. The people who make the greatest impact aren't always the most educated. They're the ones who never stop learning. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. Keep growing, keep learning, and keep becoming the best version of yourself. We'll see you tomorrow on Industry Talk, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your time. Let me see who all. Hey man. Well, in the middle of the country, Angel, you guys are out in the middle of the country. I appreciate you for locking in, tuning in. You and um, Jay Shaw, JB, Jarrell Braswell locked in, man. Swole Funny. Let's see who over there on IG. I'm glad you guys made it safe. Paul 39422. Man, thank you guys for locking in with me today, man. It's been a great show. It's been a great conversation. I'm having a really good time doing this stuff right now. I'm in my groove, man. I'm really in my groove. You see, I'm figuring out that I'm pretty good at this shit. And then, when y'all done heard it, you give them an inch, nigga take a yard. Yeah, well, we taking all the motherfucking rope. Because if this is the working order, if this what I have to do, and whether I have someone here to communicate with me or not, if this is what I have to do to disseminate information about who I'm involved with, who I'm affiliated with, what I have going on, well, yeah, you can best believe, man, this is too easy. I could talk about the shit I do all day. I could talk about my collective. I could talk about my friends and my cohorts and individuals that are doing what they do all day. They call it an infomercial. Well, they call it a podcast now, but it's an infomercial. Call it what it is. You're sitting at the round table, you're having discussions, there are different types of products that are presented through commercial broadcast time, you're wearing different things, you have product placement on your set. It's an infomercial. They just call it a podcast now. And we sell airtime. Because we're a broadcast network. Remember that. So, as always, beautiful people, y'all already know with me, man. Before the artists that are out there that are in need, that are in need, yeah. If you have the issue of your audio isn't matching your cover for the audio, and so that cover can travel with that work wherever it goes, we got you, man. Is your cover art missing when your music plays? Having trouble getting your cover art to display with your audio file? We've got the solution. Just click the link, upload your audio file and your cover artwork, provide the metadata we need, and we'll take care of the rest. In no time, you'll receive a professionally embedded audio file with your cover art attached. Ready for streaming, distribution, websites, DJs, radio stations, and media players. Fast, simple, professional. Upload, embed, play. Your music deserves to look as good as it sounds. Click the link below and let us do the work. Yeah, let us do the work, man. Let us do the work. Our products and services are off the chain. Video production. You'll start seeing our information for our video production and our camera crews that can come to your city on your site and give you the business, man. Yeah. As always, beautiful people. It's about health, wealth, and wellness. Stay dangerous. stop what you're doing right now and go subscribe to Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime on YouTube, all social media platforms. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to make sure you tap in. Right now, over 72,000 subscribers and well over 11 million views and watch time hours. So make sure that you continue to support, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and keep tapping in with us because we're going to keep on bringing you this hot content every day and in every way. It's your main man, Big G. And make sure, like I said, stop what you're doing right now and tap in. Like, share, subscribe. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime.